This weekend podcast that we're not doing this week.
Jesus doesn't think you're a freak, or if he does, he thinks you're a freak in a good way.
Trust me, you two, I know what normal talk is.
Hey everyone, this is Emily Chow with Plugged In, and today I'm going to teach you how to set up parental controls for Amazon Prime Video. Let's go ahead and get started by going to Amazon and logging into your account. First, I'm going to show you how to create a profile. Just keep in mind that profiles on Prime Video are a little bit different than some of the other streaming platforms we've done because you don't set restrictions based on the profile, you set it based on the device. But I'll explain more about that later on. To create a profile, go to this area right here underneath Amazon's search bar and click on Prime Video. Next, hover over your profile name and click Add New. Click Create Profile. And then go ahead and give this profile a name and decide whether or not you want to toggle on the kids profile option. If you do select this, it will only show you titles that are rated under PG-13. It's basically age appropriate for 12 and under by Amazon standards. When you're finished, click Save Changes, and then you'll be able to access that new profile. Okay, so now that you have some individual profiles, I'm going to show you how to add a pin to those profiles. Prime Video pins have two functions. The first is to prevent younger kids from accidentally logging into a non-kid profile. And then the second is to override the maturity restrictions that we're going to set up in a later step. But again, I'll talk about that when we get there. So hover over your profile name again, and this time click Manage Profiles. Click Edit Profile, and then select the account holder's profile first. This is the profile that was created by default when you set up your Amazon account. You want to do this because the account holder's profile actually acts as the account pin, and that pin is going to be used later to override maturity restrictions. Click Manage, and when you get to this next screen, one of two things will happen. If you've never created an account pin before, then the button here will say Create. If you have created one, then it will show Update instead. Enter a 5-digit pin, and then click Continue. And then to activate your PIN, toggle on Profile Lock. You also have the option to toggle on the Creation and Removal Lock. This will prevent anyone from creating a new profile and then deleting it later without your knowledge. When you're finished, click Save. Before we leave here, just a couple of quick reminders. If you want to create pins for other profiles on your account, it's the same process. You just need to remember to toggle on that profile lock when you're done to activate it. Additionally, once you create a profile lock for that account holder's profile, you can't delete it. However, if you decide that you don't need the profile lock, you can deactivate it again by toggling the profile lock off. And if you ever decide that you need to change your profile pin, all you have to do is go back through these steps, and instead of clicking Create, you'll click Update. So now that we've created a pin for your account, I'm going to show you how that works with the maturity restrictions. Okay, so hover over your profile name, and this time click Account and Settings. Click on the tab labeled Restrictions, and then choose the max rating you want available for your entire account. You're also going to want to check the boxes next to the devices that you want these restrictions to apply to. Okay, so before we close out, there's just a few more notes. The first one is that these restrictions are actually accessible through any profile on your account. It's going to be really important in later steps to change your password and log out of certain devices so that this becomes less accessible, but it's something you definitely want to be aware of. Next, as you can see here, Amazon doesn't use the traditional rating system based on the film or TV show's actual rating. It goes by this age range thing. The reason this is problematic is because it's so subjective. For example, if you choose 16+, you won't be able to watch Prime Video's The Boys, which is rated TVMA for language, sexuality, violence, etc. However, you will be able to watch Prime Video's TVMA rated Good Omens, which is only rated for language and violence. That's a bit of a problem if you don't want your kids watching any TVMA shows. So really, the only way to get around that is to actually set the maturity rating even lower and then use that account pin that we created earlier to override the specific titles that you want to allow your teenagers to watch. So on the one hand, this is actually a good thing because it encourages conversation between parents and their children before they approve a title. On the other hand, if you're a busy parent, it can be tempting to hand over the account pin to your kids, and then all of this is null and void. So just to review how this all works, when you set up these restrictions, it applies to every profile on your account and all of the devices that you check here. To override this at any time, all you have to do is type in your account holder PIN. One of the ways that you might be able to circumvent some of the issues we've discussed is by changing your password. So go up to your account, not your profile, at the top and click on Account and Lists. Click Account, click Login and Security, and then next to Password, click Edit. And then you're just going to follow the steps to change your password. It's probably going to have an email verification, so do all of that to change your password. Then you're going to want to log out of all devices. To do that, go back to Prime Video, hover over your profile name, click Account and Settings, click on the tab labeled Your Devices, and then click Deregister next to any device that you want to log out of. The final thing I'm going to show you how to do is how to delete your account. You could have any number of reasons for why you want to do this, but the easiest way to do it is to go to this website, scroll to the bottom of the page, select a reason for canceling, and don't worry, one of the reasons is I don't want to provide a reason. Then check the box indicating you want to permanently delete your account, and then click Close My Account. And that concludes the Prime Video tutorial.